My wife got pregnant while my best friend lived with us, but I'd secretly had a vasectomy. So I just played along until I had proof of their affair. Hello Reddit I+ here. Alright everyone, buckle up, because I never thought my life would turn into the kind of story people vote to put on the front page of r/relationship saga. Yet here we are. I am a 41-year-old man. I work in emergency services in a mid-sized coastal city. I have 2 kids from my first marriage, and until recently, I thought I was living a quiet, predictable, adult life. Turns out, I was living in a circus I didn't even know I was starring in. Let me take you back. I married my high school sweetheart Mira at 20. She was bright, charming, talented, and basically raised in that perfect suburban bubble where everyone knew her. I was the hometown athlete who was supposed to go pro, but ended up joining emergency services instead. We had our daughter at 21 and our son at 22. After our son was born, Mira and I decided 2 kids were perfect. Money was tight back then, and we both came from families that struggled. So I did the responsible thing. I got a vasectomy at 24. Quick lunch hour procedure. Back to work. Nobody but the doctor knew. Fast forward some years, Mira started a successful organizing business that took off faster than either of us expected. Meanwhile, I was getting sent around the country for specialized training. Our schedules stopped lining up. Our goals drifted. Our love just changed shape. We divorced with no drama and stayed good friends. The kind of friends who still do birthdays and holidays for the kids. It is not some sad story. It just was what it was. Years later, I met a woman named Rena, a 39-year-old hairstylist with the kind of personality that grabs a room and refuses to put it back. She rode motorcycles, hunted, camped, and had that free spirit energy that pulled me out of my post-divorce funk. She always said she did not want kids. She was cool with my 2. She loved them. They loved her. The topic of having kids together never came up, so I never mentioned the vasectomy. No need, right? We got married in a tiny backyard barbecue ceremony. Friends, sunlight, burgers, and laughter. No drama. Life felt simple again. My best friend falls apart. Now let me introduce the other key player. My best friend since age 9, a guy named Tyler, age 41 like me. We grew up together, shared holidays, joined the same field, even went through academy training side by side. He was the kind of friend you call when your roof is leaking at 2 in the morning. The kind of guy who knows your childhood secrets and still respects you. He was married for 12 years to a woman named Kara. They had 2 kids. One day the whole thing blew up. Divorce papers, custody fights. Kara moved across the country to live near her parents on the east side and took the kids with her. Tyler was destroyed. He cried in my garage like a broken kid. And I did what any friend would do. I let him stay with us. At first it was for a few nights, then a few weeks, then a few months. Eventually my wife suggested converting the basement into its own suite. We had the space. He had nowhere else to go, so we did it. He helped, paid what he could, and settled in. At first it felt good to help someone going through hell. Then things started feeling strange, weird vibes between my wife and my best friend. At first, it was tiny things, harmless things, or so I thought. I noticed they were spending a lot of time together on my workdays. Lunches, quick errands, then lunches that turned into whole afternoons, then outings that had nothing to do with errands at all, concerts, movies, inside jokes, then little touches. She would touch his arm during a joke. He would brush her shoulder while passing behind her. When serving dinner, she would plate his food first, then remember we all existed. She talked about him constantly. He taught her some new joke. He recommended a new show. He showed her something funny online. He made her laugh till she cried. I was home less often because of training rotations. They were home alone a lot more. The puzzle pieces did not fit yet, but the picture was beginning to form. At night she would text him from our bed, giggling, smiling at her phone while my hand was on her hip trying to start something. I would try to initiate intimacy. She would say she was tired. 5 minutes later she would be texting him under the blankets, laughing silently like a teenager. Something was seriously wrong. One afternoon I walked in from a long rotation. She was sitting on the couch with her face frozen like she had rehearsed a speech. She said she had something to tell me. She said she was pregnant. I felt the air leave my body, not because of excitement, not because of fear of fatherhood, because at that moment every single detail of my secret vasectomy flashed through my head like a siren. I asked her how long she had known. She said a couple of weeks. I asked her how far along. She said about 7 weeks. I did the math. I knew exactly who had fathered that baby, but I did not say anything. Not yet. I congratulated her. I hugged her. I played along. I acted like the happiest man alive. Inside, I was preparing for war. Secret proof gathering. The next morning I drove myself to a clinic, got a full analysis, sterile, completely sterile, no chance at all. I asked the doctor to print everything and sign it. Meanwhile, I watched Rena closely. She started disappearing for long evenings. She said she was at the salon doing late appointments. I checked the salon schedule. It was closed. She showered every night right after coming home, which she usually never did after work. She kept her phone locked and pinned to her chest like a priceless artifact. I went to her car and found receipts. A restaurant 2 towns over. A hotel receipt with only one name printed. Tyler. And to make things worse, she had been using my credit card for some of these outings. My blood boiled, but I stayed calm. I wanted iron proof. Rock solid proof. Unshakable proof. I installed cameras outside the house and a recorder in the basement hallway. No cameras inside because I am not trying to go to jail, but enough to see who went where and when. I saw their patterns. She would slip downstairs at night. He would come upstairs early in the morning. The puzzle pieces locked. The night everything exploded. 3 weeks later I confronted her. I laid out my vasectomy records. I laid out the footage of her going into the basement at 2 in the morning. I laid out the receipts. I laid out the messages I pulled from the cloud backup of our shared phone plan. She went silent. Then she tried to lie. Then she cried. Then she said she made a mistake. Then she said she was confused. Then she blamed me for being gone too much. Then she said Tyler needed comfort. Then she said she thought maybe miracles happen and the baby could be mine. I said nothing to her. Instead, I walked downstairs and asked Tyler to pack his things. He tried to argue. I told him I would have him trespassed if he stayed on my property one more night. He left with 2 duffel bags and a guilty look. My wife, or whatever she was at that point, stayed silent. I filed for divorce immediately. My lawyer said it would be very simple. Infidelity, proof of non-paternity, proof of misuse of finances, proof of lying. I would not owe her anything. She tried everything after that. She begged, she pleaded, she showed up at my work, she tried to call my kids from my first marriage to get them on her side. She tried to get Mira to mediate. Nothing worked. One night she showed up on my porch crying, saying she had been abandoned by Tyler too. Apparently, once she told him she was keeping the baby, he ghosted her, blocked her, moved 3 provinces away. He left her with nothing. Not even closure. She said she made a mistake choosing him. I told her she had made dozens of choices, and none of them involved me. The friend group burns to the ground. Our entire friend group collapsed. People took sides. People fought. Kara, Tyler's ex, reached out to me and apologized for things she never needed to apologize for. She said she suspected he was the type to self-destruct, but she never thought he would ruin multiple lives. My parents were furious. Her parents blamed me. My co-workers refused to speak to Tyler ever again. People who had camped with us every year suddenly wanted nothing to do with either of them. The foundations of our social circle cracked like glass. Where they are now, Rena moved to another city and is raising the baby alone as far as I know. She sends occasional updates I do not read. Tyler tried to reconcile with his ex, to see his kids again. She shut him down completely. Last I heard he lived alone in a rundown rental near a lake and works night shifts. No friends, no holiday invites, nothing. As for me, I stayed in the same house, renovated the basement again, ripped out every trace of the life I thought I had, and kept moving forward. My kids are doing well. They know the truth in a simplified, age-appropriate version. Mira and I are still good friends. Life feels lighter now. The divorce went through within a few months. Clean, final, quiet. I thought that would be the end. I was wrong. Turns out betrayal has a long tail, and mine came back circling like a stray dog that refuses to accept it, no longer lives here. Let me walk you through what happened after the papers were signed. She shows up again about 6 weeks after the divorce. One rainy evening, someone knocked at my door. I opened it and found Rena on my porch. Hood up, shoes soaked, eyes red from crying. She said she had nowhere to go. I told her she chose her somewhere a long time ago. She said I did not understand. She said Tyler was gone. She said he blocked her everywhere. She said he told her the baby might not even be his because she had also been seeing someone from the salon behind my back. That part was new to me. She admitted it. She said the baby could belong to either of them. My stomach twisted. I did not know whether to laugh or cry. I told her I hoped she figured things out and closed the door. She sat on my porch for a long time. I watched her through the peephole. Eventually she left. I thought that was the end of it. Nope. If betrayal is a stone thrown into a lake, the ripples never stop. Friends started calling me. Apparently she had gone to each of them with different versions of the story. To one couple she said I abandoned her during a difficult pregnancy. To another she said I had faked the vasectomy papers. To someone else she said Tyler forced himself into her life. To another she said the baby was definitely Tyler's, and that I had kicked her out in anger. The stories did not match. My closest friends knew me well enough to ignore the nonsense, but the wider circle split again. Some people were convinced I was hiding something. It was exhausting. Mira, my ex-wife, called me one night and said she had gotten a message from Rena begging her to talk me into giving her another chance. She even tried to use my kids as leverage. That was the last straw. I told Mira to block her and protect her peace. Mira agreed. Tyler's collapse. Meanwhile, word got around that Tyler was not handling things well at all. One of our co-workers had seen him at a gas station, looking like he had not slept in days. His face was hollow. His hair was grown out. He walked like someone who had given up. Apparently, he had tried reaching out to Kara again, begging for another chance to see the kids. Kara refused after seeing the chaos he had caused. She was done. He spiraled, lost friendships, lost his sense of identity. He ended up transferring stations and moved to the outskirts of the province. I did not feel sorry for him. Not even a little. Every action has a cost. The baby is born. Almost 9 months after the initial reveal, I received a text from a number I did not recognize. There was no greeting, no introduction, just a newborn photo, no filters, no caption, no explanation. I deleted it. 2 days later, a mutual friend messaged me and said the baby had been born, and that Rena was telling people the child looked more like Tyler than the salon guy she had seen. I wanted nothing to do with it, but the universe apparently was not done with me yet. The surprise visit one afternoon while my kids were at school, I heard a knock on my door. I opened it and found an older woman holding a small blue envelope. I recognized her immediately. It was Rena's mother, a woman I had only met twice, the kind of woman who always looked like she was judging the lighting choices in your living room. She handed me the envelope. She said her daughter was struggling and asked me to read what was inside. I told her I was not interested. She insisted. I told her Rena had made her choices and I was not part of her life anymore. She looked at me with a mixture of pity and confusion. Then she said something I did not expect. She said the father of the baby was confirmed. I did not want to know. I truly did not. But she said it anyway. The baby was not Tyler's. The baby was the salon guy's. The entire time Rena had destroyed our marriage, our friend group, and 2 families. She had been lying to both of the men she slept with. Her mother said Rena was overwhelmed, lonely, financially struggling, and begged me to reconsider being in her life. I told her I could not help someone who brought this much destruction into mine. She asked me to at least read the letter. I told her I would think about it. After she left, I tossed the envelope into the drawer under the kitchen sink. I did not open it. I never planned to. The attempt to use my first family here is where things took a dark turn. About a month later, my daughter came to me looking uncomfortable. She is a smart teenager and does not get rattled easily. So I knew something was wrong. She said Rena had messaged her on social media from a new account, saying she missed her, saying she wanted to explain, and asking her to convince me to talk to her. That crossed a line I cannot even describe. My ex-wife Mira was furious. She blocked every account Rena had and told me she was considering filing a report if it happened again. I told Rena through a single response from my side that if she ever contacted my kids again, I would involve people who had the authority to handle it. That finally shut things down. For a while. The unexpected twist. 6 months later, I received an email from a lawyer representing someone I never expected to hear from again. The salon guy. Apparently, he had requested a paternity test. Confirmed he was the father. Confirmed he wanted involvement. Confirmed Rena had been trying to convince him to move in with her. And he refused. He wanted nothing romantic with her. He only wanted responsibility for his own child. The lawyer said Rena had been telling him that I had ruined her life and that she had nobody else. The guy wanted to make it clear that he had no intention of being dragged into a fabricated triangle. He also wanted to warn me that she was telling multiple people I was secretly helping her. That last part sent a chill down my spine. Why would she be telling people that? And then it hit me. She was trying to craft a story that we were reconciling. A safety net. A last resort. A fallback plan. She wanted people to believe I was still in her orbit, so she would not look abandoned or alone. She was trying to rewrite the narrative where I was still her anchor. I was done with her the moment she lied the first time. But this was something else entirely. This was delusion. The final closure, I blocked every number and account she used. I alerted a few trusted friends. I updated my work contacts. I made a report documenting the unwanted contact attempts. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet paper trail. Then I finally opened the envelope her mother had given me months earlier. Inside was a single page. Not an apology, not a confession, not a plea. It was a list of everything she claimed I had done wrong. None of it was true. It was a manifesto of self-pity and blame-shifting. It made one thing painfully clear. She was never going to take responsibility. She was never going to own her actions. She was never going to see what she destroyed. I put it back in the envelope and threw it in the trash. There was nothing left to salvage. Nothing left to explain. Nothing left to carry. Where things stand today, my life is quieter now, lighter, more balanced. My kids are thriving. Mira has a new partner who treats her well. I rebuilt my basement into a gym and workshop. I spent time traveling with my kids when I have them. I learned to enjoy peace again. As for Rena, last I heard from distant friends, she moved back to her hometown. She is raising her child alone and still struggles with the idea that I did not become her safety net. Tyler is still missing from the social map. No one knows how he is doing. No one asks. The entire saga left scars on everyone, but I am healing. Sometimes peace comes after the storm. Sometimes you rebuild after the ruins. Sometimes you walk through fire only to realize the air is cleaner on the other side. I am finally breathing again.